Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to our second History Home Learning lesson. Today we're going to look at Anglo Saxon Kings. Today's learning objective is to compare the significance of Anglo Saxon kings during the Viking period. What do you already know about Anglo Saxons and their kings? Do you know the names of any Anglo-Saxon kings or where they ruled? Is there anything or anyone you would like to find out about in more detail? The kings of Anglo-Saxon Britain each ruled their own kingdoms and the people in it. They also controlled their own armies. Kings constantly fought to control other kingdoms and defend their lands. They were known as warrior kings. When Anglo-Saxons first settled in Britain, there were 7 kingdoms. However, by 878 AD, there was only one kingdom left, Wessex, ruled by King Alfred the Great. Other kingdoms had been overrun by the Vikings, who established their own kingdoms. The 7 kingdoms of the Anglo-Saxons were Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, Essex, Kent, Sussex and Wessex. Some of the Anglo-Saxon kings are well known for the resistance they put up against the Vikings. They fought hard to keep control of their land and tried to push the Vikings out. One of the best known Anglo-Saxon kings is King Alfred the Great. He is the only British monarch to have the title Great in his name. So what made King Alfred so great? King Alfred is credited with being the first Anglo-Saxon king to defeat the Vikings in battle and buy the people of Britain some peace from them. Alfred became king in 871 AD and reigned until his death in 899 AD. In 878 AD, the Vikings invaded Wessex and forced King Alfred into hiding. However, Alfred was not prepared to give up. Later, in 878 AD, King Alfred and his small band of followers defeated the Vikings at the Battle of Edington. The Battle of Edington was reported as a fierce and bloody event, and King Alfred was reported to charge into battle like a wild boar. King Alfred and his men drove back the attacking Vikings, who surrendered. It is said that the Viking leader of this battle, King Guthrum, immediately converted to Christianity and was baptized by King Alfred himself. King Alfred knew that although he'd been able to stop the Vikings from taking over Wessex, he would never be able to control them in the rest of England. In 886 AD, he made a deal with King Guthrum to establish a treaty which gave Vikings control over northern and eastern England, an area which later became known as Danelaw. King Alfred got to keep control of Wessex, and he also got to rule over West Mercia and Kent. This arrangement helped to establish more peaceful relationships between the English and the Vikings. After the death of King Alfred the Great, his son Edward the Elder took the throne. When Edward died, his son Athelstan, King Alfred's grandson, became king. Athelstan is regarded as the first king of all of Britain, and he is remembered as a great leader. Athelstan was king from 924 AD to 939 AD. During his reign, he drove the Vikings back more and more and was able to claim control over a great area of land. In 927 AD, Athelstan won back the Kingdom of York from the Vikings. He also established control over King Constantine from Scotland and the other northern kings. The 5 kings of Wales also agreed to pay tribute money each year to King Athelstan. At the Battle of Brandenburg in 937 AD, Athelstan fought with his Vikings and Welsh allies to stop an invasion by the Scottish king. Athelstan is known for forming good relationships with leaders from other countries. He married his 4 sisters to important rulers abroad, which helped strengthen Britain's position overseas. He also had strong links with religious leaders, and he founded many churches. Do you think Athelstan was a great king? And do you think he was as great as King Alfred? Think about his actions and his achievements. Who do you think was the greatest? What important or influential things did the 2 kings do? And why are they such important historical figures? Pause the video now and answer these 3 questions in your home learning book. After you've answered those 3 questions, I'd like you to make a decision. Who do you think deserved the title of great? Here's your next activity. Using the information you have learned in this lesson, create 2 different information posters. Each poster should be about the 2 different kings and must have at least 5 facts about them on it. Make sure that these posters are full of colour and have plenty of pictures on them. Here's today's final activity. Once you've completed the poster, go to the Year 6 Home Learning page and complete the comprehension activity in your home learning book. Well done, Year 6. See you tomorrow for another home learning lesson.